Oh, whoops. Ivan Riley. You're reading this, you're in a dream. Wake up. Okay. That's beloved mother and grandmother. She would never give you up, never let you down, never run around and desert you. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Carol G. Wearing mismatched socks is cool and should be a new fashion trend. I don't disagree with that. Ugh. Okay. Where are we at now? You're on behalf of the manager? No. But aren't you the one who's bringing the cash? No, sorry, I can't say I am. Can you go tell them I can't wait much longer? I haven't finished my round yet, and my boss told me, that this time he wants me to be paid in cash or else. Or else? Well, I'll take the goods back with me. My boss isn't willing to extend any more credit. He's already been waiting for the last payment for over 3 months. I see. Sorry I can't help you. You know, being a penny pincher doesn't make my life easy, you know. Been delivering here for 10 years now. Boss's orders. Wasn't like this before. Okay. Whatever. Whatever, dude. Okay, we can go one of two. Is this a train? No, this isn't a train. Where the hell are we? Oh, we're back at the house? Okay. Mr. Andre asked me to see to your every need. I got everything I need, thank you. I'm just exploring. I hope you don't cause any trouble. Not at all. Please go ahead and create a little mess if you choose. It's good excuse for me to get out the feather duster and air out the rooms a little. Glad to help, I guess. My name is Eugene, and you? Baptistine. What a charming name. Sounds like a name right out of a Pagnol novel. Oh, sir, it is too kind. I would like to inform sir that I am married. Not at all. I always thought my own name was a bit old-fashioned. So to meet a Baptistine, you know, it feels like I'm in the right place and time. Baptistine was the name of the first largest to enter the family service back in the time of Napoleon III. Did my husband, Claudemir, have the opportunity to explain to you? Yes, he did. Ah, so dear Claudemir is your husband. That explains it. Yes, he filled me in on the local customs. You know, back then, we never questioned our orders, and Mr. Jean was always very kind to us. Mr. Jean? Yes. Mr. Finthrenier Sr., Mr. Henry, and Mr. Andre's father. A pair of new shoes every year and a gift at Christmas. That way of life back in those days, it really was something. These days, there's almost no one but me and my husband to keep the house running. But we're so attached to the family, to this place. So you don't have a little place of your own somewhere? Family you can spend twilight years with? What a preposterous idea. Our life is here. Just because we don't get paid anymore doesn't mean we're going to let this slide into disarray. Not paid anymore? No, yes, well, that's not the point. For some time now, Mr. Andre, it seems, has been forgetting to give us our pay. Just a simple oversight. As a wise woman I know well would say, you're no gold digger. What? You haven't been getting paid? That's jank. Dude. Pay. Oh, this is the way. That's the way into the brewery area, I believe. Which we've been before. Yep. Okay. Alright. Okay. Ah! Okay. And then we're here. We can go in the cafe. Ooh, there's a market. We might be able to talk to some people, I guess. Yeah, we can. Aren't my artichokes beautiful? And how about my plums? I don't see any plums there. I didn't know you could grow artichokes here. Isn't that because you're not from here? Because here, we're in a land blessed by the gods. Everything grows here. You gotta really screw things up to get a bad yield. You got sun and water. Blessed by the gods, I tell you. I can see that. I do not see any plums. It certainly looks very green. I'm from Bordeaux, and I've gotta say, you don't need to worry about the competition. Oh, you're a city boy. Sorry, don't have time to teach you how life works. Haven't you ever wondered where those really plump red tomatoes come from? No, I just meant... I got a new topic of Neeric, even though I was in Neeric. I had to talk to this guy to get the topic of Neeric. Seriously? That's kind of jank. Did you know that practically all the ingredients from everything you tuck into Bordeaux comes from here? Go on. But why is there an ambulance? The van there. Oh, it's just a little arrangement I have with the local authorities. Ever heard of how babies come from the cabbage patch? So together with the guys from the maternity unit, I decided it would just be easier. I could also use the ambulance to deliver my little cabbages. Each to his own. Less paperwork that way, too. Who likes yellow tape anyway? I see. The mayor's okay with this? You making sure there's less red tape? Yes, it's just a little arrangement that stays between me and him. But don't worry, it's all above board. In fact, I'd like to introduce you. No time like the present. Gabriel Thermone at your service. Gabriel Thermone, you say? Yes, kid. When I last shook hands with someone, I'm pretty sure that's what I said anyway. So you must know Bernard Payrot? Bernard, let me see. No, it doesn't ring a bell, should it? You bet. It really should. Dean at the University of Bordeaux? He told me about you anyway. That he owed you a favor. Something related to rugby, perhaps? We had been known to head into the team. We had been known to head in with the team to show our love to the Strad. Yeah. But if I had to go through the faces of every person I've ever had a disagreement with, well, we'd be here for a while. And that ain't even counting the third halves. I've lost so many brain cells during that as I ever did in a pinch on the pitch, but we knew how to live it up in the old days, and it was rough, believe you me. No, that's not it. During the war, he said you were a good guy. He said that? He said that. He told me everything. That he hid out with you during the war, just far enough from Bordeaux that the Germans forgot all about him. Oh, that Bernard Payrot. Yeah, Payrow. I think it's Payrow. Yeah, that's it. Bernard Payrow. I should have said earlier. Of course I knew him. That's going back. How's he doing? Haven't seen him in forever. He's well. He's good. Old Bernard. Tell me. Were you the one who, at the time, sent Henry to Bordeaux? No? It's so loud, kid. What are you playing at? Stirring the pot, are we? You weren't even born at the time, so what's it to you? What's it to me? Probably more than you'd think. But I'll whisper, if you'll just answer my questions. Yeah. Sure. You don't want any apples instead? Don't have any apples. Oh, we got a new person to talk to. Okay, he's actually an important person. Is this to chat about something mayor related? Not really, no. I'd like to point out that I'm not one of your constituents. Yes, I had noticed. I'm willing to make a little exception just for you. On the one hand, he's a local rich kid, so I'm hardly going to feel sorry for him, am I? On the other hand, the Vintners, the brewery, and everything, well, they've always treated the workers right. Without them, it'd be a whole load of jobs right down the drain. When it comes to politics, well, plenty to complain about there. Tell me more about that. Before the war, Henry was a royalist, from a good family and everything that went with it. Action, Francis monarchism, down with the republic and all that. I don't think my shit don't think my shit don't stink or anything. I'm a son of working class, and you know, around here, we're more into hard-headed secularism and old Protestant stronghold. I leave a mark, and what you end up with is locals like me, a Red Sox front pop supporter. Yes, I see. Rat Sox, sure. Common basic knowledge here. Everyone knows that. So that's it. Big sweeping statements to look good in public. That's all just noise. Bluster, that stuff that you stuff into your pockets after a couple of drinks. So nothing all that important then. I don't know about that. I heated up quite a bit around here in the 30s. And all the little villages, at least those big enough for politicos to get in each other's faces. And well, the royalists and the commies were always at each other's throats. Henry had hung around a bit in those royalist circles back in the day, but from a distance it looked more like a group of people nostalgic for the good old days. He never really got off the ground. Okay. After the war, things got pretty quiet around here politically. There was a bit of a scrap with the communists, but otherwise we rubbed along just like any other small town. If there were any squabbles, you'd find those over at the football ground. He even came to see me, when he wanted to organize his departure. He wanted new papers in the name of Victor Dozvan, and I had a contact in Bordeaux. And it was Bernard. You've already met him, right? He must have mentioned it before. You know why he came to you? Ha! I suppose it's more a question of what he did during the war that mattered, rather than what he did before or after. With Bernard's network, we'd smuggled so many fugitives, it's bound to earn you a reputation for that sort of work. Okay. I mean, I don't want to talk about... it's always a pleasure to see a local coming back to their roots. Some around here eventually leave to find work elsewhere, and they never come back. Only, I just hope she doesn't get it in her head to go and stir around some trouble here. Why would she do that? Oh, not that she'd do it on purpose, but you got no idea how much unpleasantness can lurk beneath the surface in a small town like this. When the Harris is one of the local, small business barons, just appears out of nowhere, it's hardly surprising everyone's talking now. Okay? What a woman. I can tell you, listening to the guys from the brewery and the bar, it's like I don't know. Anyway, one of them once told me, Miss Simone, she's one of yours. She'll look you right in the eye. I think that's it. She's a Vintner, but you get the sense that she's willing to get her hands dirty. She knows what she's talking about when it comes to mechanics, and the guys like that. And just look at the work she's doing with the workers' families. I think she's going to outshine even all of us resistance veterans. You know, services rendered, grateful country and all that. There's just one fly in the ointment, though. I should have seen that coming. Oh no, don't get me too worked about it. You'll be disappointed. It's just that I wish she'd use those skills of hers to deal with the other idiots on the town council. If only she'd involve herself a bit in Eric's little political scene. You gotta admit, the Vintner would look great standing there with the plebes. And all I'd have to do would be to goose her and get her coming after me again. Because there won't be many people left to take over if you sack all the little prefecture profiteers. Okay, Marie. Oh, well, I can't really tell you anything. Gossip and hearsay from the local hairdresser isn't my cup of tea. Tell you one thing about her, though. She might not have been born here, but she's a proper Neric local. Okay, I think that's important. While it's true that the Finthers you live well, keep up appearance, rub shoulders with the others well-to-do, she still didn't have an easy life, married just before the war and having to raise little Simone without Henry while he was a German prisoner. Yep, I can see gossiping really isn't your cup of tea. Oh well, family story, skeletons in the closet, dirty laundry, all that stays in the family. Yet you still make it sound like you're somehow part of these stories. I suppose you have to keep up with your own constituents though, right? Everyone has their own inner world, but some of my constituents, as you call them, you called me that, just can't help poking their nose in other people's business. If I get hold of the little stitch that went and tattled that I helped her husband play truant, she might not look like that, but that little woman was constantly on my back for a good 2 months. All propriety and manners straight out the window. Scandals at the market, crisis at the town hall, general chaos, all her. Just so she could get me to drop the smallest crumb. Crumb? Well, where Henry went, of course. I ain't never blabbed before. Ain't gonna start at my age, now am I? And it went on far too long. Not good for the town, anyway. Went up to the prefecture. Couldn't go on like that. In the end, the sub-perfect Belgian went on over to Andre to see if he couldn't calm things down. After all, he was head of the Bintner clan, and now his father Jean was dead. He was dead, and the only one who with any sort of authority over Marie. How did this story end? Huh? I don't really know. I don't really know how to explain it. She'd been pretty nasty with me up then, but man, he is a talker. Oh my God, he is a talker. She'd been pretty nasty with me up to then, but what do you know? Next day she turns up the town hall, sweetness and light, like night and day, kid. What could Andre have said to her? All I know is that everything in the town hall was back to normal, nice and friendly. The rest, kid, ain't none of my beeswax. Things aren't easy at the brewery right now. It's going through a rough patch. There isn't a single council meeting where the subject doesn't come up. It's an issue that affects jobs here, so of course everyone has a big concern. But if the brewery closes, well, my town will get over it. It's gone through a lot. Henry the Fourth, the Huguenots, Darlin, all the highs, all the lows. But wasn't Henry the Fourth born in Pau? Shh. You're trying to start a fight? You know, I never said our good old Henrik was born in Neric, but his enterprising spirit is very much something he developed here. The stubborn Bernese and Garcon spirit was strong in him. Man, I wish this had voice. I wish this had voice acting. I really do. Well, looks like we got lucky with our priest. I was over all the righteousness and preaching a long time ago, but Father Hubert doesn't just sit around, just the opposite, actually. He's one of the pre-war working class priests, the kind you see coming out to little parishes like ours to bring them back into the fold, as they say. So he gets on well with everyone, and he'll rarely say no to a good glass of red. Whether he calls you comrade or my son doesn't really seem to make a difference. Anyway, he knows a thing or two about a good red. What's that supposed to mean? Red communist sympathies, you mean? No. Just making conversation, and now here I am gossiping like an old rumor monger. Our father Hubert likes company, has quite the appetite. He likes to enjoy himself, you mean? That's it. Not giving away any secrets here, but people say a cellar is one of the best stocked in town. We're not talking about your cheap table wine here. Oh my god, he is a talker. He says he doesn't do... Man, gotta admit, he is brave to stand up against the occupiers. Superiors didn't know where to look when Father started saying certain things in his sermons. The bishop knew what side his bread was buttered during the war. Made friendly with the princess, you see, so I reckon that's why he offered our father the chaplaincy at the STO. Doesn't take a genius to guess that the commander actually encouraged the suggestion. My God, we're gonna have to talk to him about all this stuff. He's talked pages and pages on everybody. I guess you could say we go a long way back, for better or worse. Almost sounds like a wrestling match poster, only ends up being a rad. Yeah. My God, look at all these. Look at this. The whole world's topsy-turvy. I mean, I know they're using like a combination of English and French, and it's like really, really like getting to me. Once upon a time, I was good friends with Andre. No more than that, comrades in arms in this secret army, and it went the world to us. We all had our own little beliefs. Camped down for the common good, a shared pact. Yeah, that's what he's doing. At least just long enough to kick those jerseys right up their arses. He was my right hand, you know. He was the liaison between the... See? McQuee? I don't know. In the area. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. It's a resistance group. Okay, it's a resistance group in World War II. Or a type of vegetation. He was intelligence, not bad for a leader in training. You certainly wouldn't know it to look at him. And yet, he was always eager to jump in the firing line, maybe a little bit too eager. And then at the liberation, we all hoped the politicking would hold off for a while. But instead, everyone decided it was the perfect time to trot their political opinions back into the open. Our dream of a united France fell by the wayside. Shame, I feel a bit guilty, really. Why? You don't have anything to feel guilty about. Right from the very first elections, Andre was pushed to run against me, and given what me and Andre went through during the war, we'd been no better way to set an example than with two guys with totally different views, setting those aside for the common good, together for a city, for Neric. What a bloody waste. Oh. He's so chatty. Although I admit he opened up 4 topics for us. That worries me. Not a bad chap, really, but he's not the most discreet of all people who arrived from Spain in '39. Always wondered if he wasn't a bit, What is that? What is that word? That is not an English word. That means naive, apparently. I think. Naive. Oh, I even question the word potty nuts got a screw loose. Never heard that word before in Bordeaux. I like how they're using English, except when it's inconvenient to use English, and then they don't use it anymore. Not really. This shamelessness that bothers me. He could afford to pick up a broom and sweep his shack occasionally. He's not rich, but poverty isn't the problem here, in my opinion. My mother often said, cleanliness embellishes opulence and disguises poverty. He likes telling other people off, but maybe he should look at his own house first. Sounds like we could have had the same mother. I'm inconvenient. Look at me, little kid from Newark, working class parents. Never got me a school leaver certificate. And there's Ramone. Ramone? Supposed to have studied and all that before the war. What's more, he's got plenty more where that came from. Always ready to put on his fancy act whenever it takes his fancy. You haven't heard it yet. The tirade, the theatrical entrance, the whole performance. No, I have. He seems like he had a head for learning, but saying that the bloody civil war in Spain must have messed him up a bit. Man, he is a talker. Oh my god. Anyway, here's me without the certificate, slaving away the whole bloody day. Then suddenly I'm mayor of Newark. Not that I go on about it, but I worked hard for this. Yeah, you go on about it so much. And Mama Trayman must be at least a little proud to see her son's success. I pipped Andre to the post on this one. He's not a bad sort, a hard worker, but he's always had a way with things. Completely unlike the other Spaniard nutter messing around, tinkering here and there, doing goodness knows what. Oh, those two are right blot on our lovely town. A right blot on our lovely town. One that'll never really wash out. They're both different types of bad apple. Boulay was the lowest kind of coward, the kind of traitor you see pop up everywhere in times of war. And Herrick was different, uglier, unrepentant. You know, what he said to the superintendent when he was executed at Polygon. What? As a direct quote, "My respects, Mr. Superintendent. The day I arrested you, he said to me, the loser always pays. That's it. I bet on the wrong horse. I lost. I'm going to pay. No remorse, nothing. I'd be curious to know what Father Hubert said to irredeemables like him." I'm gonna snooze the ad. Hang on. So I'm gonna go on a break soon, but I'm gonna finish the dialogue. It was a woman. No, it was the woman. I can't quite get the difference. No, what I mean is that when I was young, she was the grand lady of Newark, the mayor's wife, always impeccable. Yeah, it probably did. Elegant, and look, it's not even moving. Elegant and kind. Served the town just like her husband. Oh, that was quick. What the heck? Ah, my town is just so beautiful. Proud hometown of Noste Henrik. Henrik is how they say Henry in Gascon. You didn't see the plaque on his statue? Good old Henrik couldn't have hidden his southwestern heritage even if he tried. He rolled his R's hard enough to shake his head loose. Fell in love with this place. At one point he even saw it as the heart of the kingdom. Then he learned the French throne was up for grabs and completely forgot us as soon as he got to the capital. Gabriel, that's you. Nothing special. Parents were market gardeners. I took over the shop when the old man's back couldn't take it anymore. So here I am. The only thing that's changed is that my old man used to come to the market in a cart, while you come in a van. Progress waits for no one. Oh, I see where you're going with this, kid. But let me tell you, there's more than a few around here who don't understand the difference between the hours I keep at the town hall and the hours I work to keep a roof over my head. I can't see Spawn sitting in the wood-paneled rooms in this Bordeaux City Hall listening to the complaints of a local housewife. So given the time I spend listening to old whoever that is, Rabelais, complaining about his neighbor's tree, and Miss Clackamoof, who swears she sees her daughter's wife stealing eggs every few days, I think I've earned a few perks. Why don't you just, like... I'm not going to speak badly of him being mayor in wartime is no picnic. Yes, maybe he could have been more vocal about Vichy's collaboration policy. Some people around here think he was a bit too flexible. Well, they mainly said that because Petain came here. But around here, we have our own local hero, Darlin. The Admiral was appointed head of the Navy in 40. See, we even got ourselves a head of the Navy here. Good for you. Eric, you see any sea around here? Because I don't. What were they thinking? But anyway, I can see that old Vintner. I did what he could. What he could for Neric residents, I mean. He even gave his life for that in the end. And that, my boy, is where the dead earn my respect. There's no laughing matter. Oh, we got a new topic! Man, we've gotten 5 topics from this guy. I'm not going to speak badly of him being mayor in the war. He says that every time. Yes, maybe he could. Oh wait, we already had this one. Because we got a new topic. It said the thing was hadn't been exhausted. So nothing strange about that. Anyway, if you're the one who helped him leave, that takes some skill, right? Or did you just do it whenever you fancy or do you just do whenever the fancy takes you? Oh, big words. Let's not make this into a circus. I was barely involved if you stop to think about it. Henry called me in the night of the flood, the night of Miss France pageant. I'd rather remember it this way. He asked me if I could help find a place for him and Catherine. I thought of Bordeaux, a big city where you can keep a low profile. Bernard was there. I knew he could count on him. So I just put him in touch. Barely did anything. And Bernard said yes, just like that. Didn't ask any questions. Oh, well, of course Bernard had questions, but I told you. I could count on him. He owed me one after hiding him and Neric during the war. That makes two then. Henry owes you one too. Henry and I got on well since he got back from Germany, better than his brother. He was one of my constituents, someone who needed help as mayor. It's my duty to help. Like I said, it was nothing. Okay, last one, Jean's death. What a mess. What a sorry mess. Yet another raid by the Jerrys. Usually we'd come out of it okay. We'd get used to dealing with them. And we played it safe in the secret army. We finished the plan. Hold fast, prepare, keep a low profile, and have a stash of weapons hidden ready for the big day. But then, of course, you had the excitable FTPs. France Parisians. Commies. Playing Mummy's little lapdog as long as the father Stalin told them to sit. And then the other mustachioed monomaniac in Berlin invaded them in 41. Their balls suddenly grew back. I don't know if it was to try to make up for it somehow, but they weren't relatable. Acted silly, never followed the instructions from London, and constantly tried to go solo. Andre joined them, and the whole lot wanted to do in more crowds. What a load of rubbish. All that resulted in was reprisal after reprisal on the locals after each of the little ops. I've heard the commander took 3 French for every fallen German, is that right? 3 in the beginning, yes. In the end, they saw the winds changing, things got tough, and sometimes it went up to 10 for every crowd. Anyway, one evening, must have been towards the end of 44, Andre was getting on my nerves, lost my temper, and told him I thought it was all a waste, and he and his boys should have paid a high price for nothing. And if those local FTPs had stayed quiet and waited for the D-Day, just like us, the Narek would still have been liberated all the same, and those hostages would probably still be alive. I feel like maybe I shouldn't have said that. Why? It's more or less how things really stood when then, wasn't it? Yes, but truth lies, kid. It doesn't really matter, and mattered in that kind of true. The thing is, I told him right to his face that his father would probably still be alive if he hadn't been for all of that. Andre, he stood right up, gave me one of those looks. Anyway, we haven't spoken since. That's why I blame myself a bit. You can tell his father something that's always on the back of his mind. Okay, we exhausted all the topics, I think. Oh no, we haven't. We got a new one. We got French resistance. Okay, well, I guess we have one more topic that I didn't do. We didn't do too badly at the start of the war, being in the free zone. Then by the end of the 42, everyone was back under the same law. But it was mainly in 1943 that the young ones joined the Marquis en masse when the puppets collaborated with Fritz for the compulsory work draft. One prisoner freed for every 3 workers sent to Germany, they claimed. And somehow they thought it would all work out. But where were you in all this? Oh well, I was Roger Bonadero who got me involved with the network. He needed someone to wrangle all these young people. So we formed a Nira group. Roger was caught by the Jerrys at the end of 43. I had no choice. I had to step up. And our work paid off in summer 44. We liberated ourselves. So yes, because of us, the Yanks really had to scrape the bottom of the barrel to rustle up any Jerrys once they got here. There was plenty of action around the Royan, and the landings in Normandy certainly sped things up. But we didn't think our Fritzy friends would scarper so quickly. Not going to shred a tear over them, though. Should have stayed home, shouldn't they? Really would have just been better if they stayed at home, though, wouldn't it? Okay, that's it. I don't understand what's going on in this game. I'll just be perfectly honest. I do not understand what is going on in this game at all. I have not understood this game basically the entire time. I feel like we have a contradiction between things not going well and this sheet. So, this was in 54. This was in 54. I just realized. No? Okay. I thought maybe these would work, but they don't seem to, so dang. Look at all the talking he did. Alright, well, this whole thing, this whole game is really rough. It really is. This game is rough, like sandpaper. Rough like sandpaper. I can go this way. I wonder what's this way. Two children. We can talk to them. Come on, you gotta be able to touch the door too. I've been standing here for 20 minutes, but I just can't. I heard that if he catches you, he'll keep you in a cage in the river like a lobster. Yeah, well, he decides to cook you. Nah, no way that's true. I probably managed to get inside, and he told me the Ramonet didn't throw a stone at him or nothing. Even said the Ramonet said, "Hell, young man." Oh yeah, so why you been standing there all this time? I'm not stupid. I don't just believe everything my bro tells me. Good point. He's not hey there, it's this dude. He's a talky guy too. This place looks interesting. I feel like he's probably got a lot of information. Can I be of service? I don't normally comment on my fellow catchman, but I like you straight away. So, do you want to chat for a bit? All right, let's go. Let's go, dude. We got a lot of things to chat about. The Vintner boy? The Vintners. The family saga that gripped the town for over a century. I try not to bear grudges against rich people, so show a little compassion. Most of the time it's the predicament they were born into. An inconvenience which can happen to anyone. They even say it can just come over you, no warning at all. What, being rich? Is that what you're saying? Being rich can just come over you all of a sudden? He was a model rich person. Starts shirt for university, iron uniform to go to his army training classes. Our beloved Neeric had its air. I barely knew him before the war. I arrived in 1939 after a few problems in my native Spain. He seemed quite different when he got back. Physically, yes, but everyone was saying that at the time. But mainly, it was his attitude. He'd been an armchair royalist before, but now he was practically the stereotypical Bolshevik with a knife between his teeth. It was shocking. Must have been his time in Germany. Catherine's birth was unusually quiet affair, particularly since the town was used to bigger celebrations. Even in 1940, when times weren't the best, Jean threw a ball for the whole town in Garing Park to celebrate Simone's birth. But nothing for Catherine. New York locals weren't that fussed. In 1945, it was all about survival, getting the country back on its feet, getting people jobs, and a roof over their heads. Little Catherine was like a ghost. I think she must have already been 3 years old when I saw her for the first time. She was quite big and advanced for her age. Strange, the family had claimed that her fragile health required special care and lots of rest. That is weird. A girl who's a credit to her family. She never speaks out of turn, always considerate. She even sometimes came to my defense when the kids in Neerick felt the urge, which didn't come out of nowhere, to call me a black shirt. Black shirt? Let's just say that some of them didn't take too kindly to the influx of Spanish refugees like me. Some Neerick locals, not the brightest bunch, quickly tried to tar everyone with the same brush. The wickedness of men. We Republicans left Spain through the priorness and the rucksack and children in our arms. So the prior, yeah, I didn't read that correctly. So being treated like a black shirt, like a fascist, but those kids were only repeating what they heard at home. Like, just they repeat their multiplication tables in school. It's not the children's fault. So where's Simone in all this? She collared the youngsters, but gently. She then gave them a little lesson on the war, fascists, and our exiled Spanish cousins who needed help. It's like they were bewitched. They listened and focused on her, like she was standing there offering a load of sweets. Clever. I wonder where she'd learn how to do that, how to educate without making it sound like some kind of lesson. Marie. It's an open secret that Marie isn't completely faithful during her husband's absence. Wasn't completely faithful. So think about it. The Vintners, despite all their means, find themselves having to hide a bun in the oven. Lots of rumors circulated about their father's identity. But don't expect to go spilling their private meat. Don't expect me to go spilling their private business. I jump at the chance to argue about the rich's prudishness. Here we're taking an innocent child who never did anyone any wrong, and I'm not going to blame that poor kid for their parents' actions. Okay. An inextricable mess of steel, copper, and concrete, which together are the magic potion, which is one of the town's secret sauce. I've heard business hasn't been good recently. People seem to drink less beer than they used to. Well, my poison is still wine, and I'm a faithful victim. My family had a small vineyard down in our little corner of Spain. But tell me, young man, you're from Bordeaux. You must know some welcoming spots. What's it like for a guy roughing in St. Emilion? I'm gonna go with Emilion. St. Emilion. I had a business relationship, a former associate in the rag trade who went to seek his fortune down there. Result was we fell out of touch pretty much as soon as he left. It's not a confession I got from him personally, but some in Neerick say that Father Hubert wasn't always a man of the cloth. Apparently he entered the seminary late after a bad breakup. That's probably why I find him a bit more sympathetic than most priests. He's lived a bit, seen the world. When he gives an opinion, and that's not often, his words have substance, unlike the little Vatican soldiers fresh out of their godly little priest factory, who go on and on about life when they never really lived. And Father Hubert and me can always find neutral ground, like in the cafe's terrace with a glass of red. Anyway, everyone's got their weakness, and our good Father Hubert is far from the only one to have one. Weakness? Propping up the bar, knocking one back when he's whistled. Do I need to go on? No, it's fine, I get it. I bumped into him when he's been completely blotto. One day, one evening, he had a large one. He can be a bit of a sad drunk. He always wants to sing a song, some nostalgic ballad. What song? When I think of all the concoctions we've had together, I'm lucky to be alive, so remembering something. I'm a good sport. I've never refused a round or two or three. It's a shame. It was a catchy tune, like a nostalgic sea shanty. Anyway, I came across our Holy Spirit of the Spirits in the park the next day, but he wasn't very talkative. A sea shanty? I should write that down. Sea shanty. God, I got so many notes. I have so many notes. I need to make more notes. Sea shanty. A sea shanty. Okay. A rosary won't cut it for me, though. Alright. Andre. It's like he's gradually turning into a monk, living on bread and water and never leaving his cell. It's criminal not to live a little when you're rich. Money is a simple thing. Spend it quick before it's gone. I might not be rolling in it, but I'm not stingy when it comes to advice, and that won't cost you a thing. Thanks. Andre wasn't always like that, reclusive, married to his work. I remember just after the war, the 39 to 45 one, mind you. Andre were never shy about setting off heated discussions about his opinions on provisional government. What would happen to the work of the FTP, the leftist, whatever, who won the right to sit on the council. They were almost all left high and dry by their PCF comrades who had skedaddled right off to Moscow during the war. Now the war was over, they were grabbing all the prime spots and doing everything they could to smear the good name of heroes. Top bloke used to sign off his leaflets with Prefect of the Marquis. He was one of those rare communists who got an Order of the Liberation Medal. He set up the Limousine Marquis Group, one of the major resistance groups which gave the Germans a run for their money. He and his men even took down a whole division. Andre religiously defended the party line, but it was weakened by the manipulations of the Comintern, which destroyed the Spanish Republican causes from within. Oh my God, he is talky too. Jeez, these old people can talk and talk. I'm surprised he doesn't have an onion on his belt. Henry, on the other hand, has sometimes wondered how he came by his detached view of the situation, his knowledge of the inner workings of the CP, but I never dared ask him how or why. He was the one who brought the rounds. Whew!
So I tied an onion to my belt, which was the style at the time.
Your humble servant, your high inspectorness, if I may, dispenser of wisdom of all types of any hour, storyteller and philosopher of my vocation. Out of necessity, I successfully fooled the local population into believing I was the highly respected chimney sweep. And I've got to admit, I played the part so well, I nearly fooled myself.
Nichols had pictures of bumblebees on him. Give me 5 bees for a quarter, you'd say.
I'm not particularly hot-headed. I wonder if Nichols did have pictures of bumblebees on him in his day. I'm not particularly hot-headed for a Spaniard, but I tell you, if I had that Harek on the other end of a pistol, so many of my Spanish brothers fell because of him and his treachery. Oh, okay. I wouldn't have been surprised if she had some Sicilian blood in her somewhere. I imagine it took a lot to stand alongside the great Jean. When her husband died, she took up her position of head of the family and ruled with an iron fist. She must have taken some things to her grave. I've never been in her house, but the family must have some impressive archives. All the great families do, us beggars take our names and our stories to our graves. My headphones just died. I think they're out of battery.
I used to be with it.
Damn.
Then they changed what it was.
Oh, well.
Now what I'm with isn't it, and what's it seems weird and scary to me. It'll happen to you.
Okay. Anyway. My adopted hometown, and a despot, and despite a few grumblers, I think it's fair to say the locals are quite welcoming. I've always been able to find odd jobs here and there. It was a time I tried to establish a career as a poacher, but I quickly got that idea out of my head. The local gamekeeper is a slippery one, unusually vicious. No idea where he comes from. Vicious? What am I caught on? Oh my gosh. chords. I hate chords. Comes with the job title, I suppose. But apart from that, it's lovely most of the year. Quiet, with a quiet river by sea. Bays, whatever, through Narek, keeping us all nice and cool in the summer. And now you're talking. Yeah, it's always been the beating heart of our little town, at least until recently. The water's not as clear as it used to be. Fortunately, it's got more and more difficult to let the kids wade there in summer. Not long ago, there was a big pier, which was used for unloading boats at one point. But the 1952 flood washed away most of the pier. The town hall was forced to demolish the rest. It was too dangerous. The kids were playing silly buggers, daring each other to jump from post to post. Okay. Dear Mayor, what a nice guy. A local chap with dirt under his fingernails when he shakes your hand. He's got his feet firmly on the ground. His position doesn't go to his head, unlike some. His predecessor, for example. Wasn't that Gene? Oh no. When I said predecessor, I was talking about the elected mayor. Old Gene was appointed. The Vichy wasn't really a fan of voting, though I suppose old Gene did his best to limit the damage. No, when I said that I was thinking of the pen pusher, the turncoat who was in the post before. I've forgotten his name, but it's certainly better this way. Okay. He was a true gentleman, rich or not. We're talking about a guy who gave work to a lot of refugees even before the war. He offered me a job at the brewery, but I've got my pride. Set hours, clocking in and out, being bossed around shifts, it weren't for me. But then, when we bumped into each other at the town, he saw the state of my poor house and offered to give me some wood to sort the roof. Back in the day, my roof had decided to take a holiday from its job. That's a roof. So anyway, old Gene was a great guy. I mean, you know, sometimes the roofs just need holidays, right? What a mess this whole leaving business was, in my opinion. What a mess this whole leaving business was, in my opinion. The big hydroelectric generator that powers the machines in the brewery isn't far from my place. The real feat of engineering for its time, but it's gradually deteriorated. A stately old lady that needs a lot of TLC. When the Great Flood came in '52, a worker went to secure the turbine blades before the waters rose, but he got a foot stuck in the mechanism, a freak accident. I heard him call for help. The water was beginning to rise and the worker was going to drown if we didn't free him quickly. I'd have helped if I knew how to swim, so I dashed off to get help and soon ran into Henry. Henry jumped straight into the water to help the poor man, but it took several tries. And Catherine, all 6 or 7 years old of her, with only 3 swimming lessons in the local pool under her belt, jumped in the water and helped her daddy. The onlookers were so caught up by everything that no one noticed her being swept away. Then what happened? Henry did what Henry always did. He came back up to the surface, saw his little girl being carried away by the current, and caught her by the arm at the last second. A second later, and she'd have ended up in the river in full flood. We'd all had a big scare, but the worker came out of it with a slight sprain. I helped him limp to see the dock. As I was leaving, I heard Marie raging about who, about what. Well, the next day, Henry packed his bags. Interesting. That's interesting. I wasn't here when that happened. I'm not scared of fighting, but apart from helping my Spanish companions in the FTP, I'm just not cut out for it. Oh, that day, the Marquis had set up an ambush for the Germans. Bad intel got them in trouble. They were more Germans than expected. They quickly lost the benefits of surprise, and the whatever would have found them in a rough, tight spot if the German reinforcements had ever arrived. Luckily, the German reinforcements never made it. They must have been sent elsewhere. Anyway, they ran out of ammunition and had to fall back. They exacted a high price. The rumors went around that each took 5 Germans with them. Hats off to them. Actually, I suppose that would be berets off to give it a local spin. Alright, and then we got the French Resistance. My years of conflict in Spain served me well there, as some of my Republican comrades had taken refuge here. Many of them were in the FTP MOI. Oh my gosh, that's like all French. Immigrant recruits and communist groups. I helped them out sometimes. A letter here, a package there, never got caught. I wasn't exactly the epitome of the master race, at least in the eyes of the occupiers. But a scruffy local priest with Iberian roots wasn't top on their suspects list either. There's a bit more to Gabriel Tremont than just nabbing the mayorship off the local upper class. He kept himself pretty busy during the war. He more or less headed every resistance group that followed. De Gaulle's lead back in London. He never lacked physical courage, but he didn't approve of the partisan attacks, which put civilians at risk of brutal reprisals. Of course, they had some successes, which certainly helped morale, but you had to face facts. He had to think about families and children if we didn't want France to be a country of orphans after the war. Alright, that's all we got talking to you. Alright, I feel like... Didn't we have, like, stuff? Why did Henry leave with only Catherine? I mean, I feel like if we do that, it's not right. But it's close. It's close. That either. I don't think it would be this either. I don't know. Why did he leave with only Catherine? Like, I feel like I've gotten all the... Well, I haven't gotten all the dialogue, but I feel like I've gotten enough. But it should be, like, at least somewhat have a story here. Who's this? Click on it, you dingus. This road's really changed since that damn flood. What flood was that? You can tell you're not from around here. Oh, well, I know what flood it is. Must have been nearly 20 years ago. Place over there the kids probably don't remember, but it used to be a cinema. Takes some imagining. Lower Narek is never the most... What? Salubrious? Salubrious? What the heck word is that? Salubrious. Has anybody used that word? I need to start saying salubrious. I need to start using the word salubrious. Things haven't really improved. This is a very salubrious game. Don't you agree? Isn't this game super salubrious? All right, let's talk to we have to talk to some people about things that we haven't been able to talk to them about before. So I still don't know the answer to the question of... Oh, let's talk to her about stuff. We got more stuff to talk to you about, lady. Like, Narek. I was born in Dijon. She was born in Mustard. My family has been here for generations, but Henry told me much about Neric that when I saw it at our engagement, I immediately fell in love. Its golden age might be long past, but it's got some charm so typical of little southwestern towns, don't you think? Him and my brother-in-law, Andre, have been jostling for the mayorship for years. Of course, I support Andre in his efforts, but between you and me, it's not up. He's not up to being mayor. Gabriel is a man of the earth, a man of the people. Gets along well with others and has a firm handshake. Simple things, but important as far as the electorate is concerned. Alright. And you don't think Andre is capable of that? Andre is a thinker. He has the strength, but he looks inwards, ponders, and ruminates. If only he'd spend some of that free time on more fulfilling pastimes. I've spoken to him. You've spoken to him about it? Speak. It's hard to speak to him. He's not an easy man to talk to. The other day I was sorting through our family photo albums. It's always a chance to remember the good times. All the family was still together. Anyway, for once Andre stayed in the room, reading the newspaper in his armchair. I wanted to show him a few old snaps with his father and brother together. He made some excuse about visiting a political supporter and slobbed off. Excuse, you say? Excuse or not, doesn't really matter. What I meant is, if he put as much effort into real things, like fixing his own family for a start, then he wouldn't have wasted 20-odd years doing everything he could to become mayor of Neric. What he needs to do is go and see his brother in Bordeaux and make him see reason, make him come back. Oh yes, I'm sure he could. But does he even have Henry's address? His address? That's a minor detail. If he stopped picking fights with Gabriel over local politics for long enough, I'm sure they could all help us make Henry come back. Who's a leading figure here in Neric? He was my father-in-law, the guardian of the temple the guardian of the temple? What does that mean? In the Fenthener tradition, after all. At first, he seemed quite intimidating, but he was keen to help me be accepted by the family. He might have thought that my mother-in-law, a so-called outsider like me, would quickly take me under her wing. Quite the contrary, she was very possessive about her Henry, her beloved son, who was in line to take on the family business. No matter how hard I tried, nothing was ever good enough. Then, with the difficulties of war, my father-in-law no longer with us, I was able to prove that I knew how to put the family first in more ways than one. Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean, Gregory. You're Catherine's friend. You've got to understand. Can you tell me why a father would deprive Catherine of a mother's love? Why would he leave a loving home and family? Why would he break apart his marriage, his promise? Why does he think that the other prisoners who came back from the war didn't have their own troubles, their own worries? But marriage exists to provide a stable foundation to remind you that you've built a life and people depend on you. And again, I thought we got over all that. Then he left us over 5 years after he returned. If only he'd agreed to come back to us. Alright. The day those barbarian crowds took him to the whatever commandator, I had to fight with them for hours just to visit him. A sergeant came to reception to tell me that he had agreed to let me see him. The person I saw was swollen, deformed, almost unrecognizable. I didn't dare tell my mother-in-law the truth. Better that way. I think I knew that my father-in-law was relieved it was me. There was something about his face. It felt like he was almost smiling at me. The guard wasn't that strict and left us alone. I tried to clean his injuries and have a few words. Despite the circumstances, perhaps because of the circumstances, I dared to ask him why the smile. With almost childless glee, he explained that his jailers openly discussed their orders in the current situation. They paid no attention to my father-in-law. Didn't realize he actually spoke very good German. That was why he was smiling. All that time, he'd been pulling one over on the Germans, getting them to make mistakes, getting them chasing their tails. Every second he delayed them was whole lifetimes. When the Oberstleutnant came and my visit was cut short. Jean winked, though I could hardly see him because his face was so bruised. I never saw him again. The men who joined that resistance didn't have to worry about looking after the elderly and the children, and their actions against the occupiers resulted in punishments imposed on us and hostages being taken. I still can't help but think that without all their antics, our prisoners of war might have come home sooner. My Henry would still be with me, for he hadn't been kept there for so long. Okay. Alright. So we've talked to you about everything. Okay. I'm trying to figure out if we can find some links between our documents. That's really what I want to know. If we can find links between the documents. But there's so much dialogue that it's difficult. Like, it's very, 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 very difficult. To go through all of this dialogue and find links. Wait, I thought there was one on the business. Is there not one on the... Oh, yeah, it's right there. This is 19. Okay. See what everyone had to say about this. Somebody said the brewer wasn't doing very well, and I want to try and link it to this. No. Okay. I mean, this is not recently, to be fair. This is a while ago. So what else do we got document-wise? We got this. Don't know why. This probably has something, maybe. Didn't she say something about a honeymoon at some point? Oh, here's a contradiction. I found a contradiction, or a link at least. I found a link, if anything, him receiving his brewing certificate. What? Come on, game. What do you want from me? What do you want from me? This game is so frustrating. Like, it's so damn frustrating. I am so frustrated with this game. Like, it's just too much. It's legitimately too much. Okay. Let's just find one and do it. And this guy just won't shut up, you know. Okay, I don't think we actually have the thing we need. We're missing something. We're missing a document. Okay, well, alright, I guess we gotta find another document. Where will we find it? I think we need to go to like a police station or something. Don't know where that would be. Why does it keep zooming me out? Run, dude. Run. We can technically go in here. Oh wait, we can go this way. This probably goes to the train station. I think that's where we came in. Yeah, this is the train station. I don't think we want to be here. There's nothing here. Okay. In fact, the fact that we can come here almost offends me. I don't think we have a map of this area. No, we can't go that way. Is there a police station? Is there a police station that we can go to? I'm not sure if there is. Maybe we missed it. Maybe there was someone in... Ours just... Here, this is like a loop or something. What a weird loop here. Yeah, now we're here. Where does this go? Well, this is the church, isn't it? We don't want to go here. I'm not sure where I need to go. Apparently I'm missing a document. Okay. Okay. Oh! Oh, I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I forgot to use the key that I got. Remember when I got that key? I forgot to use it. Oh no! I'm janking out. And I janked out. I'm able to walk on. I'm able to fly. Apparently. I forgot to use the key because I'm stupid. Jankin'. I remember the key, and then I got the key, and then I forgot to use the key. That's what I'm missing. Okay. Remember when I got that key, and I was like, "Yay, I got the key!" And then I saw a closet door with the keyhole. Remember that? And then, like a dingus, I forgot to use the key. Right here. It's right here. Yeah, see? Boom. Boom. Stuff. We're gonna get stuff here. Given the late hours, the volume of the servants who received the orders, which this Henry responded, "I come on, oh come
Yoink!
on, it's the international It's the international. Live in a free country. After they refuse to cooperate, we check their identities. He submits paperwork in order, and so we ask them to disperse and go home. They complied after the briefly agreed to the bar owner. We warned the bar owner to keep an eye on these customers further, and we also have a thing that says 20576. No other singing was heard that night. Okay. Another thing. Oh, we got two things here. Dear Mom, I'm writing you this letter, which will be posted by Andre the next time he has the opportunity, and we'll have some instructions with it. I won't go into details, but I just wanted to tell you how much I love you and to assure you that it's precisely this love which has driven me to take this decision. And I knew that with this decision it would be hard for you to hear, particularly now Papa is no longer in this world. Even though I've only spent a few hours with our Russian friend, I'm convinced that this is the best decision I've ever made. And when you meet him, all I'm asking is that you give him a chance to persuade you as well. With all your love, your son. And there's no name signed to that. Okay. Well, see, that allows us to make a connection between that and... Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. How do I do this? Oh yeah, here we go. And this report, maybe this one. Henry is supposed to be a royalist, but he is singing the international. Oh man, that would have been a difficult connection for me to make. That to me is not obvious. Is that obvious? Is that unobvious to everyone else? Anyone else? Because it wasn't obvious. It wasn't completely obvious to me. That is probably also the button, maybe, that's in the jukebox that we are not allowed to push. What do you think? What do you think? Oh, jeez. My phone just went something. It was both of them, too? Man. Yeah, it looks like we need another document before we can do the next one. Whatever that is. Okay. This game is really rough. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This game is super rough. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Maybe the zoom is for the particulars. Maybe the zoom is saved per screen. I don't know. It feels weird that the zoom keeps Resetting. I need to get... Oh, wait, this isn't where I want to go. This is not where I want to go. I do want to go to where you're suggesting. The jukebox. Because apparently there is a document there now that I need. It's right here. Oh, look who's there! It's the inspector! See, it's this thing. Because apparently Father Hubert caused a brawl. He also has 228. Oh, that's the case number. Just realized that. What the heck is going on here? Oh, there you are. I'm not saying I was getting worried because I know that that'll annoy you. But it was close. My fledgling is out on this first case and doesn't leave an address, doesn't phone. I can tell you that Miss Molesky isn't exactly thrilled about that. I had to ask Victor where he'd sent you. I thought he was joking at first, like he was pretending not to know. So I pressed him a little, and like magic, he suddenly remembered. Strange. I know the old man's a bit of a joker, but I can't see him joking about something like that. I forget where you were. Yes, that is odd. He's been acting strange for a while now. Anyhow, I thought you could give me the slip, huh? So I hopped straight on the train. Well, would Sir kindly tell me what's been happening? Sir is doing very well, thank you very much. Sir might even be doing too well. Care to explain? Case is closed, if you ask Catherine. She's found her mother, her sister, brewery, her town, her... Just need Fido, the dog, to top everything off. Hold your horses there. Slow down a little. We found Simone. I recognized her from when she was with Victor. So to cut a long story short, she's Simone Fintner, heiress to the Fintner Brewery. Her mother, Marie, told us that Catherine was her second daughter, but with a different father. Except Simone let slip that Catherine isn't really Marie's daughter. Yes. Is this sort of family stuff that common? Well, it's not that it's particularly uncommon, but let's just say that your dazzling inquiring mind must have rubbed off on me. Well, that inquiring mind of mine is still missing a few details. Why did one of the town's leading figures lie and pretend to be Catherine's mother? Why did Victor leave and abandon a comfortable life here? There's definitely a family secret there, but there's something else too. Something that doesn't quite jive with the Victor I know. Well, little pup. Could be beginner's luck, or just put the work in. Or you've put the work in, but in any case, well done. You even got the little thing that's not quite right. I'd recruit you on the spot if I wasn't already your boss. How about a raise? Worth a try, but no. Fine. Doesn't look like you'll really need my help. I'm gonna stay here a little while, though. Need to give some credibility to my official Miss Molesky approved version. Just in case you need the help of a crusty old detective, eh? Alright. Alright, we finished apparently that one. Okay, well, we got, as I said, we got a thing. Apparently one of our documents. We got a new document. And he said something about this. He said something about him. No, not that one. Oh no, that's not who I meant. It was this guy. Looking with this. on the jukebox that Father Hubert asks for when he's drunk. Yep, he does. Kind of already knew that. Okay. We can't mess with the juke. Oh, yeah, we can. Let's see if I push it, try and push it again. Oh, it's him. It's one of Father Hubert's favorite songs. Alright, fine. The way I see it, look, I don't really care either way. I'm just doing what I gotta do to stay lawful, current rules and all that. Especially when it comes to my joint. So if you want to record something, go ahead. But careful, eh? I don't want to hear it in here. So you're on your own with your machine. Thanks. And just so we understand each other, your promise that Father Hubert isn't going to cause trouble here, okay? Got it. Okay. Does that mean I can do it? What does that even mean? What do you mean? I'm confused. I think I gotta click something. Oh, go down. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, we gotta unscrew these. Unscrew the screws. Yeah, okay, take the panel off. Got it. No, don't do that. No, stop it! What are you doing? Why is this thing called a Tesla anyway? I don't think I can click on any of these. How do I make this go? I can't click on that either. How do I plug it in? Dang it! Game, stop being a jerk. Oh, the thing's now screwed back in. I can plug it in right here, dude. Just plug it in. Do I need like a cord or something? What do I need to do? I mean, the plug-in's right there. Do I not have the proper cable or something? Maybe I don't have the cable. I don't know. Look at that. Alright. It's pretty inoffensive music. I can't click on anything. I must not have what I need. Well, that's it, apparently. I have to... Oh, I have to hit record, and then it gives me a... That's stupid. Alright. I mean, I don't know. It feels silly. Alright, I did it, right? That's the forbidden song? Man, I was expecting something... I was expecting something worse than that. Hey! I'm pissing everybody off now. What the heck, dude? Now I think I'm gonna just play it for him, and maybe he'll punch me in the face. I don't know. Maybe he'll punch me in the face. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Punch Lenny in the back of the head.
Maybe in the back of the head. I don't know. Yeah, I think the zoom levels are set per screen. I don't think it's actually resetting the zoom levels. I think it's just set on a per screen basis, which is kind of weird. So I'm gonna go over to him and I'm gonna play that song. He's probably gonna do something. He's probably gonna be like, What's that song? I love it so much. Oh my god, it's the best song in the whole world. I love you, man. You're the coolest kid in the whole world. I don't know. What? Where on earth did you get hold of this music? Are you okay? You want a glass of water? Okay, a glass of water? Excuse me, it's just that song that brings back memories from before my ordination. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm having trouble imagining a younger you. Think again, my son. I wasn't always the Father Hubert who people listened to between naps and Sunday Mass. I was young once, too. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it in that way. Tell me, how was your civilian life then? Before the cassock and the vows? Oh, all I can tell you is that I didn't exactly start out as a country priest. I was struck with wanderlust back then. So, you'll never guess what I started out as. Wanna bet? Well, be careful there. We've got to bet a real thing. What shall we bet? Red. A good bottle of red. Agreed. Right, I'd say sword swallower in a traveling circus. Wrong, I was a cod fisherman on the Grand Banks of Newfoundland. And a bottle of red for his lordship. Do you happen to have a corkscrew around, or... the fog coming into port, hot soup and red wine waiting on the table. So many misty-eyed evenings spent clapping the front row, then waiting outside her dressing room. But to her, I was always just another sailor. Jibba-dabba-dabba-da. Okay. Abba-dabba-dabba-da. Newfoundland? I think we went to bed. The next day. Newfoundland. Testimonies. After the convent network, I brought back the girl by train discreetly after very discreet as the mansion of Marie confessed she had slapped Catherine when felt guilty because that's why Henry the flooding. Okay. Well, we got some drunk talk here. We got some drunk talk here. Woo, buddy. Let's see where we can get that. It seems like something about Henry leaving. We need to talk to her more about that. We haven't fully talked to her about it. Hey, it's Regulus. It's Regulus. It's Regulus's tail. Let's talk to her about it. Because we haven't talked to her about it. See if she has anything to say. Fortunately, my grandmother was there to keep things going on at the end of the war. When my grandfather disappeared, she sort of took on the role of head of the family. She was the fourth of nature. You didn't want to mess with her. She was the one making the decisions, making sure everyone did their work properly. She left us shortly after the damn flood in 1952. It's not a bad place to grow up. Make plenty of memories here. There's an ASN rugby matches on Sundays. You'd think the Battle of Agincourt was being reenacted every weekend if you listen to the elders commenting on the matches. The bistro. The circus comes to the fairground every year, the same season. Life here is gentle and peaceful if you just know how to enjoy it. It's kind of the small town where parents can let their children explore the parks and streets and riverbank. Did you know you can swim in the river? Swim in the what? The river that runs through the Chronique. That's why we got turbines here. Originally, it was to supply the brewery with electricity, but eventually the whole town benefited. A big name in Chronique resistance. We were really lucky to have men of his caliber, in charge of the fighting here. Uncle Andre didn't sit on his laurels either. He had his moments too. They worked together at the time, but at the end of the war, that great partnership melted away like snow in the sun. One argument, I don't know what it was about. Anyway, they stopped talking to each other, and ever since, Uncle Andre would spend most of his time picking fights. People of Chronique deserve a strong opposition to the ruling majority, he says. I already tried to reason with him, ask him to stop with his idiotic pride and be the bigger man. Who knows, maybe he could do something to help the brewery. Alright. I barely remember him. Once when I was 3 or 4, he took me to see a show and brought me a pack of sweets. I'd have liked to know him better. He was such an important figure. Okay. Dad left the day after the flood in 1952. The flood devastated our town. A turbine and a lot of equipment took on water. Everyone in town lent a hand. Even the children, including me and Catherine. I don't know if we were really all that helpful in the end, though. I was falling over with tiredness, and one of the workers carried me back to the house. That's when I saw Dad carrying Catherine in his arms. She was crying and rubbing her cheeks, saying, "It hurts, Daddy." My father tried to calm her down by stroking her hair. There's one odd thing that stood out, though. Dad's hands were black, and Catherine's hair looked like it was turning blonde. The atmosphere at dinner that night was gloomy. No one said a word. I wanted to ask Catherine what happened, but she said she was tired and wanted to go to bed because Mum had told her off. There was a heavy silence for the rest of the dinner. Neither my mother nor my father spoke to each other. At breakfast the next morning, I slowly realized what was happening. Dad was packing his bags. I sneaked into his room, and as soon as he turned his back, I emptied his bags. I wasn't amused. I asked him why he was leaving without me and why Catherine was allowed to go with him. He told me that I was older, and I was a big girl, and he was counting on me to keep an eye on Mum. He stayed completely calm, like he always did, never really answering the question. Yes, I know that feeling. Years later, when I was old enough to go to Bordeaux and see him on my own, I tried asking him again. Why did he leave? Because of Bum? He only answered that Bum had the misfortune to be much too faithful. Typical of my father. She has the vices of her virtues. I didn't want to risk losing the chance to keep seeing him, so I never asked again. Alright. Hey, we got everything. Okay. I didn't realize we had 2 more things. I was very young then. Let's see. I was August 44, so I must have been around 4 years old. But I still remember several things about the day of the Germans come busting into the manor. I heard a huge racket and ran towards the garden, just in time to see my toys and my tea set come flying through the summer house door. Soldiers shouted that they knew we were hiding resistance fugitives and that they weren't going to stop until they searched every nook and cranny. I should have been terrified, but I was too angry about my toys to think about it. Mom must have picked me up and got me away while they broke the windows with their rifle butts. It still makes me sad even now that summer house was the only folly my grandfather ever built. He always said that each generation should add to it, make it the jewel of the manor. But all that little girl remembered was the nasty soldiers broke her toys. Not that her grandfather was going to die a few hours later. It's probably better that way. The summer house got fixed eventually. We had a ceremony a year to the day after my grandfather's death. I was even given sweets. It was a communist resistance member who owed his life to grandfather that did it. It was his way of paying his respects. The local communist party didn't approve. It didn't look good for them. A communist mason rebuilding a rich effigy can't be having that sort of fraternization, right? Okay. I still can't quite get a good grip on what the resistance was all about in those days. When that comes up in conversation with older people, they all have their own take on the matter. Once they realize that I want to push the subject, some of them duck out by offering to buy around, always surprised by my interest in these old stories. Said it was because bringing up the past is like throwing a stone into a pond. It disturbs what's lying there and makes waves. Better just to leave these things alone. Others would jump at the chance to talk about it, and then they'd be the one going to buy around just to get a break. They ended up saying that despite anything anyone might say, you really had to be there to live through it. Yeah, okay. Camps. I was still in my mother's belly when my father left to fight in 1940 when the Germans broke through. Then he was taken prisoner and only came back 5 years later. You do the math. The first time I ever saw my father was when he got off that train. In real life, I mean, because Mom had filled the house with photos of him. My grandmother, too. She'd always tell me I was the most handsome, the best. It was as if all Neerick was just waiting for him to return. So when everyone rushed to the station platform, I heard people whispering that he'd really changed. I looked up. My mother was frozen. My grandmother nudged me to go to him, to Dad, I mean, to hear the stories the women in my family told. This distant father of mine was some kind of hero. And then there he was, right in front of me. I threw myself at his neck. My mother followed me after a gentle push from my grandmother. Of course, I was much too young to understand my mother's shock. Russian friend. A Russian friend? No, it doesn't ring a bell. There's no shortage of foreigners in Neerick. Most of them are from close neighbors, mainly from Italy and Spain, but no Russian as far as I know. My only guess is he is protecting the Russian friend. But I think we have a contradiction here, or no, maybe not a contradiction. We're not looking for contradictions, are we? We're just looking for things. Like, we're looking for, like, felt guilty because of why Henry. Okay, so I think we need to. I think she said something about the flooding here. I think we need to match that up. Maybe this one. Nope. Oh wait, maybe this one. The day of the flooding in 1952, after being saved by Henry, Catherine received a slap from Marie. Okay. Alright. And that's why... Oh, okay. 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 Well, I'm gonna try it. We might as well try it, right? We might as well try some of these new things. So I think we were protecting her from her. Oh, maybe... I don't quite understand what I'm going for here. I mean, I think I know what I want, but I'm not sure. Oh, maybe it's because it's because of that. There we go. That's it. Victor left Eric to protect Catherine from the ring. Bam! Why did he bury him? See, that I'm not 100% sure. And then we have two options here. Why did Henry make himself very discreet after returning? Or how could Henry be a royalist before the war and sing a communist anthem after returning from camps? Okay, we got those to figure out. We have more stuff to ask people though, so I feel like we have some more stuff to do. So I think we're probably gonna just stop playing now.